I don't know. Boxing is a lot of wear and tear on the body. Maybe so. I'm not really sure.
Take out cash on all my houses and just bet everything on AJ. But I don't, being that we live in a world where I don't trust anything, I wouldn't be able to do that because there's no shot if this is a real deal thing that AJ doesn't do anything but knock out Jake Paul.
Less than AJ to flatten him. If AJ doesn't flatten him, then he underachieved in the fight.
Floyd Mayweather weighs in on the Jake Paul-Anthony Joshua matchup by focusing on the physical toll boxing takes on the body. He highlights how Joshua's size, strength, and raw power create a significant imbalance in the fight, but still reminds everyone that once the bell rings, anything can happen. According to Floyd, boxing is built on unpredictability, and that element of surprise is exactly what makes this matchup so compelling to watch.
Not any real interest.
I'm pretty sure I'll watch it if they did it again.
MMA fighter Suggestion Ali compares Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua to the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor bout, but says the situations aren't truly comparable. He explains that while Conor was bigger than Floyd, the size gap was nowhere near as extreme as the difference between Jake and AJ. Ali points out that Floyd's decades of experience, elite defense, and exceptional ring IQ allowed him to manage a larger opponent. Jake, on the other hand, doesn't have that depth of skill or background because of the massive size disparity combined with Joshua's proven power. He believes there's no realistic path for Jake to win this fight.
To win. That's a massive win.
Yeah.
If he goes out there, goes 8 3-minute rounds with Anthony Joshua, that is a win.
What is Anthony Joshua? Is he a boxer or is he a MMA or who is he?
He's one of the. He's like a professional world champion boxer.
He has fought the best of the best boxers
He's fought
in
Tyson
heavyweight.
Fury. He's fought Usyk. He's a legitimate professional boxer. He's not an influencer.
Yeah, his is legit, bro.
He is a dude. Did you see him knock out Francis Ngannou?
Oh, he knocked out Francis Ngannou?
Bad in the second round.
Oh, okay, I remember. That's when Francis went to boxing.
Francis went to boxing, fought Tyson Fury, like arguably the greatest heavyweight of all time. And some people think
that's the big white dude, right?
Beat Tyson Fury. They're like a lot of people think Francis beat him. So Francis fights Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua knocks him out cold in 2 rounds.
And
Did you see that knockout? Do you remember it? Fresh off your head.
No, I don't remember.
Let me show you. Francis.
It's insane.
That's crazy. So, and this guy, and Anthony, what's his name? Anthony Joshua?
Yeah.
He's not even like out of his prime, right? He's still primed out.
He's still there.
This isn't like that long ago.
Damn. Watch, what if Jake knocks him out?
Dude, it's gonna, I don't, it's fucking insane.
Like
how big's
Connor.
Jake? What's Jake weigh?
Jake's probably
240?
6'1", 220, 215.
It'd be like Connor knocking out Floyd. I feel like you don't think
dude, Connor
bigger?
was that much bigger than Floyd.
True.
Like he was bigger,
That's a good point.
but not.
So you think that this is significantly more impressive?
This is nuts. Watch that.
Would you say that this is more impressive if he's able to beat someone like that?
If Jake beats Anthony Joshua, is it more impressive than Connor beat? I don't know. That's tricky.
3. Mosley sees Jake as someone who thrives on experimentation, growth, and testing limits. One loss, no matter how dramatic it might appear, doesn't wipe away the work he's put in or the opportunities still ahead of him. In Mosley's view, setbacks are often where fighters learn the most, and Jake is young, driven, and ambitious enough to treat a defeat as a step in his development rather than the end of the road. To Mosley, the experiment goes on because Jake approaches boxing as a long-term journey, not a short-lived spectacle.
Let's say like Francis Ngannou did against Joshua. Is this the end of the Jake Paul experiment?
I would say not. No. I just think that he just dared to be great and tried to, jump up and fight somebody, that he thought maybe he can exploit something. I don't know.
Can't fault him for that.
Now Riley delivers a blunt assessment, arguing that if Anthony Joshua doesn't completely overwhelm Jake Paul, then he's fallen short of expectations. He stresses that the bar for Joshua is set extremely high because of his resume, physical edge, and years of championship-level experience. In Riley's view, Joshua has to clearly show the gap between a proven heavyweight and a newcomer transitioning from another career path. There's a sense of pressure in his words, almost as if Joshua carries a duty to make that difference obvious. To him, if an elite heavyweight allows an inexperienced opponent like Jake to hang around for too long, it would raise serious questions about Joshua's sharpness and authority. Put simply, Riley expects this fight to look like a mismatch, and if it doesn't, Joshua hasn't met the standard.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? You know both men. You probably know AJ a bit more, but what's your thoughts on the fight?
I mean, I expect nothing less than AJ to flatten him. If AJ doesn't flatten him, then he underachieved in the fight. It's as simple as that. Like, he's supposed to smoke Jake Paul as the former two-time heavyweight champion of the world. If he doesn't do that, then it's subpar. And
the fight just days away. The assessment from those closest to the sport is blunt. One voice expects nothing less than Anthony Joshua completely stopping Jake Paul, arguing that anything short of total domination would be an underperformance for a former two-time heavyweight champion. From that perspective, Joshua is supposed to overwhelm Jake, and if he doesn't, it reflects poorly on his level. Gareth A. Davies, however, offers a far more cautious tone. He admits he genuinely hopes fans don't witness Jake being seriously hurt, acknowledging the bravery it takes to accept this challenge while warning that Joshua's power is not something to toy with. Davies fears Jake may not fully grasp the danger of facing a heavyweight with Joshua's size, speed, and explosive strength, suggesting the impact of those punches could come as a shocking reality once the fight begins. Even as he notes Jake's team may feel confident and well prepared, Davies stresses that preparation can't change the raw physical truths of the matchup, and his comments ultimately reveal a real concern for Jake's safety when confronted with power he's never experienced before.
We know this game, Gareth. I respect Jake tremendously for taking it. You kind of have to, right? But, I mean, I know there's a lot of money in there as well, but still the opportunity and the thought of getting chinned and hit flush on the chin by AJ isn't particularly nice. We know his sparring looks good. Lawrence Okoli, Jared Anderson, Frank Sanchez, etc. But there's no way in hell, is there?
What, that we're seeing upset?
Yeah.
No, I mean, you can't. If you work in this industry and you know the fight sports world, you can't go with the Jake Paul victory. The only thing you can perceive really is AJ tripping over and breaking an ankle and not being able to stand up after it looks like Jake Paul's clipped him with a left hook, where he's playing possum on the ropes, or he's thrown an overhand right that doesn't touch him or whatever. And it's mired in controversy forever. As I said and as I spoke with Nikisa Bidarian and Jake Paul at the press conference in Miami a couple of weeks back, if Jake Paul does do it, it'll be the biggest history.
He commends Jake Paul for the discipline he's shown and says Jake deserves far more respect than he often gets. Silva describes him as a genuine fighter, pointing to the countless hours he puts into training and the seriousness with which he approaches every bout. In his view, Jake's readiness to take on tough opponent reflects authenticity, not gimmickry. Silva argues that Jake's progress hasn't happened by chance, but through steady, consistent work over time. While he doesn't downplay the danger of facing someone like Anthony Joshua, he believes Jake's dedication and commitment shouldn't be brushed aside simply because he came into boxing from a different background.
A lot of people know, but lazy people and the people who don't have a courage to doing the same job that Jake do it start saying bullshit about Jake. But the difference between these people and Jake is Jake have a ball and go inside the ring and prove how he's there and keep working hard every day to make something and help a lot of fighters to prove your point and respect the sport. And the people don't give the credit for Jake, and the people need to do that. And I respect Jake. He's a real fighter.
Wade from the Wade Concept breaks down the situation with a critical eye, arguing that Jake may have unintentionally revealed too much through sparring footage that surfaced online. He suggests Jake is getting caught far more often than he should, and those defensive gaps would be far more dangerous against Anthony Joshua, whose power operates on a completely different level. Wade explains that if Jake is having trouble protecting himself at a controlled gym environment, the danger only multiplies when stepping in with a world-class heavyweight. He doesn't hesitate to say that Joshua is likely to inflict far more damage than any sparring partner ever could, framing the matchup as a fighter walking into a storm he may not be fully prepared to weather, especially given his limited experience against elite, powerful opponents.
Or got jabbed big time with a one big shot, or, and this may be even more of a bad thing for Jake Paul, he's gotten hit with a hard left hook, one that he didn't see because it was right on his eye, and it looks like it landed pretty flush, as you can kind of see here. Question is, which one of those two things is happening? And question is, how is it going down? Because what we know about Anthony Joshua is that he has a nasty lead hook, and he's going to have a reach advantage on Jake, just like Lawrence Okoli does in the gym, which is why Jake has brought him in. So that jab's going to be effective. That lead hand of AJ is going to be effective. How does Jake maneuver around that? And again, you can look at this a couple of ways. One, okay, you get hit with it in camp, so you don't get hit with it in the fight, which is why you bring these heavyweights in. It's why you bring Jared Anderson, Lawrence Okoli, Frank Sanchez in. Or two, there's a massive flaw in what Jake's doing, that he's continually getting hit with this, and the indication that he's getting hit by Okoli means he's going to get hit the same way with Anthony Joshua. I tend to believe a little bit of both, right? You do this so that it doesn't happen, but also how much can Jake really learn and to avoid something that's coming out with the jab or with the lead hook, or just again the distance control and the range of a guy like Okoli and a guy like AJ that Jake just can't make up for physically. He's not the size of those guys. He's not 6'6". He doesn't have a 80+ inch reach, right? It's just not who he is. It's not physically possible for him. So can you work on things to not get hit with that jab? Sure, but how much will it convert in the short amount of time he has to get ready for AJ, and the transition from Gervonta Davis to AJ, and the fact that Jake is just not as good as a world championship level boxer, which is kind of what you need to beat AJ, or you need to catch him while AJ lets his guard down to try to attack. It's one of those two things. This is the worst I've seen Jake look after sparring or at any time during his camps, and maybe there's been times where he's not on camera, but you can tell the levels are higher and the risk is higher and the danger is higher.
Paulie Malignaggi offers a mix of certainty and caution. On one hand, he expresses absolute confidence that
Paulie Malignaggi strikes a balance between confidence and caution. He says he's fully convinced that Anthony Joshua should stop Jake Paul, arguing that the gap in skill, experience, and physical strength is simply too large for Jake to overcome, and that the fight shouldn't be competitive at all. At the same time, he quickly reminds everyone that boxing rarely follows a script. He points out that the sport is full of unexpected turns, where timing, pressure, mistakes, or even a single fortunate moment can flip a fight in an instant. While Joshua is the clear favorite in his eyes, Paulie stresses that boxing history is packed with outcomes no one saw coming, reflecting his respect for the sport's unpredictable and chaotic nature.